Good afternoon. This is a planning meeting of the Anchorage Advisory Committee. It is 1:01. I will call the meeting to order and we'll do roll call.
Jennifer Rusk, present.
Ron Fleming.
John Wesley Nash.
Sam Lurie.
Chris Riedel King.
Ted Lawwell.
Ed Schoonover.
All right. We'll just go through some items that I sent out. Hopefully you all read the document that I sent out through Curtis that just kind of gave an update on the information that we're preparing for the Cruisers Appreciation Day event. Jennifer, do you want to start? I listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 nonprofits on the sheet. Is that correct?
I don't see it on here.
Okay,
Hold on.
did you get the newest one? Here. No, that's his menu thing.
Oh,
Why don't you take a look at my document and just confirm that those are all the, starting toward the bottom of the page?
okay, so I'll go ahead and list them off. Participating nonprofits and organizations, Anchorage Advisory Committee, MRF, Captains for Clean Water, Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Please slower.
Oh,
It should be on that document.
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay.
to check.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, dear.
Crow, Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce, Fort Myers Beach Fire Department Safety Department, Estero Island Garden Club, Fort Myers Beach Women's Club, Friends of Lovers Key, Friends of Matanzas Pass Preserve, Friends of the Mound House, Keep Lee County Beautiful, Marine Environmental Resource Task Force, Ostega Bay Foundation, and Turtle Time.
So are those all accounted for? Is
Those
that
are
everybody?
all accounted for. Now, in the beginning, I sent out an email to many organizations. I did not realize how many would want to be a part of this. And in fact, there's a lot of excitement around this.
Good.
And it's so exciting. I know we talked about 10 and we've gone over the 10, but I think we can share tables like the
Okay.
Women's Club. They're just, gonna be selling the passport, so we can certainly put a couple more organizations. The fire department's gonna have a lot of swag to give out, so I will probably make sure they've got a big enough table for them. MRF, I think we're gonna be sharing with the Estero Island Garden Club, oh, is Ostega on here? Anyhow, I'm sure they all are.
Which one?
I have had a few others reach out to me after the deadline, wanting to participate, but I'm just gonna wait to see, how we are doing with these. And
Yeah.
I think these are probably good enough at this point.
I would agree.
Okay.
Two, yes. Jen, certainly Folk is looking for a full table because they intend to sell T-shirts and obviously you're gonna have a lot of stuff to give away.
Yes, sir.
All right, so,
Yes, sir.
so it's gonna be tough for them to share.
Yes,
That's all
sir,
I'm saying.
of course, and I think we all had spoken about maybe taking the tables and putting them, up on the stage. My husband actually had an idea when we went there this past couple of days, that maybe, we could, put the tables in a line, and that way people can zigzag through versus doing the L shape, if that's something that you all think might be a good idea. And then, are there any other questions regarding the nonprofits and organizations coming?
Do you know how many total tables it'll be? Cause
So
you
I've
said
asked-
some are gonna combine.
Yes, sir. So we asked for 10 tables total, but I think I wish that Curtis was here, but I think we can probably squeeze in a few more if need be, into that area, considering we're gonna be breaking down at 3:30, so we'll have plenty of time for the concert to set up and for people to bring their lawn chairs. We'll make sure that, and I'm certainly able to assist in making
Yeah.
sure that the time that everyone breaks down,
I think we
know,
can all help,
accordingly.
yeah.
Yeah, we can all help out with that.
Do we know how many total tables there'll be though? I
Well,
mean, do
so
you have
far
a-
we asked for 10, but if we can get a few more, 6-foot long tables, I think that would, and extra chairs, I think that would be beneficial.
And we're gonna have tables for check-in as well, registration and
Sure.
for the drawing and, I can I have my sheet back? 'Cause
Yes.
it's kind of my note sheet. So you're pleased with the activities and the things that the nonprofits are planning to do? It's kind of for all
super.
ages?
All ages. I
Okay.
mean, there's going to be Crow there to participate. I don't know if they're bringing mascots or their ambassadors. They might, depending on. But I didn't say yes, and I didn't ask for it because I don't know if that actually would change permitting.
Yeah, yeah.
So I almost think it would be better if they just come in and
Great.
promote Crow.
Okay,
I'm excited about the fire department being there because they have lots of really fun stuff to give away, and I'm excited for all of them
okay.
to be there.
Speaking of the fire department, sorry to interrupt, but that's the only thing that we need signed off for on our permit
No,
so far.
I think we're done.
I
According-
just talked to Tracy.
Oh, did
She
you?
said they
Okay.
have not signed off yet on
Okay,
that,
all
so.
Curtis
Why
said it
would
was just
they-
waiting for Andy to sign.
Why would,
Oh,
it's a fire department, it's a department of the fire department, so
Right.
they're just gonna be
Okay.
there with a table to give out lots of fun stuff.
You're talking about the permit, aren't you?
yes,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about the permit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think the permit, according to Curtis, and I talked to him this morning, the only person who needs to sign it is Andy, so I think everything's done unless.
Oh, I just talked to Tracy
And she
on my
said-
way in. She said they were waiting to get it back from the fire department.
Okay,
But maybe that means it's gone to Andy, so.
okay, all right, well, we can check on
We'll
that.
keep following up on
Yeah.
that.
I
Yep.
do have one more other update, if I
Okay.
may share with you all.
Sure.
Is that, I contacted code enforcement and, today to discuss parking for our, nonprofits and organizations and loading, unloading and loading. And we did get approval that if we have a very, someone's in control of right in front of Bayside Park, that we get things unloaded and loaded and then direct them to under the bridge parking where they will have a pass, so they will have free parking
Great.
to park under the bridge. I will organize that and get the parking pass for all the nonprofits and organizations and get that to them.
Thank you very much.
And I will, in the beginning, I set up a time of 12:30. I believe we should probably have them start coming in
Oh, yeah.
staggered, so we don't have everyone coming in at once. So I was gonna send out an email to everyone asking for a 12:10, a 12:15, and 12, and so on.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and I'm sure most of us will be there at 11 to start setting up,
Yeah.
and we'll be available to help however we can.
Yeah, should I start the staggering like at 11:30? That way it gives us a half an hour to kind of organize the tables and
I
get that,
think
and then
so.
start having the organizations come in at 11:30.
And maybe the ones who have the most stuff, get them there first, like focus bringing a bunch of stuff, the fire department. So I don't know if you have a good handle on who has the most things to unload, and we can get them settled.
I think I do.
Okay,
And that'll give them a traffic cushion too.
yeah,
Yeah, and that way we can I can have them come in staggered to
Yep.
unload their stuff, and maybe we can have 3 or 4 people there to help
Yep.
bring in boxes, and I can situate them at the tables, and so.
yeah.
And how do you all feel about so if you see Bayside Park, here's a stage, and then where Nervous Nellies is gonna be is where our Anchorage committee check-in is gonna be, that we do the tables this way versus L-shaped.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with whatever, we may have to make some
'Cause that might-
adjustments on the way, yeah, I like
Easier for them to kinda loop around the different tables and.
Yeah. whatever's gonna help with traffic pattern.
And if we can leave the area to get to the tiki area, a nice pathway to get to that from all the sides. That's where
Okay.
that's where our meals are gonna be.
Okay,
served.
so actually then that is a better idea than doing the L shape. The tiki
Yes,
at Snug
because you can go
Harbor,
down the road to get to it.
the Snug Harbor is what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that way of doing the tables is actually a much better way, cause if we had the L, then it would be blocking
Yeah.
people from cutting through to the tiki.
That'll
you-
work good.
But you do want a front of the table definitely, because your people who are manning the table are gonna wanna be behind it somehow, so. Or they stand at the end of it, I don't know, you
Yeah.
just wanna make sure that there's a definitive,
I have it in my
Right.
mind, and
Okay.
I promise I'll get it
I gotcha.
working appropriately.
Okay.
Is there a place for Beach Talk Radio? I know that they're gonna provide, sound system and other things
The
for
thought
us.
I was, what I was thinking of was the stage,
Yeah.
maybe a portion of the stage, and
Yeah.
then have some other, or not vendors, I'm sorry, tables there for organizations and nonprofits. So maybe we sit up on the Snug Harbor side of the stage for, BTR.
Okay,
Is that okay?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we had a spot for it.
Yeah.
And have you told them that starting at 2:00, we'll have the opportunity for them to go up on the stage and make a few remarks and just say something about
So I
their
really wanted to
organization?
connect with all of you and discuss exactly, because I'm gonna be sending an email, exactly all the things that you want me to let them know. I don't know if all of them, because I don't think
Yeah.
the fire department,
Yeah, if they don't
Well,
want to, that's fine, but if
but-
we had a list of who wanted
and
to
then like a
do
little
that.
schedule
Yeah.
of when
Yep.
to give, BTR the actual, time of, and person who's gonna be going up to
Yep.
speak.
That'd be great.
Okay,
And 5 minutes or less?
Yeah,
You
I
want
think so,
something?
definitely, since we have 15 organizations, so if we could,
sorry about that, but
No,
not
no, no,
sorry, because
I don't think it's a
honestly,
bad
it's
thing.
so great that these
Yeah.
these nonprofits and organizations wanna support the mooring field and wanna support the
boaters.
town
Yep.
and the boaters
Yep.
and, yeah.
yeah. So that'd be terrific if you can just, figure out sort of that 2 to 3 time frame, who is
2 to
going to
3.
speak, who wants to talk, and we'll have a schedule, and then, Ed will help us coordinate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. Okay, so we talked about the permit, so we'll, yes, John?
So Jen, I'm sure you're on top of this, but at some point they're gonna get an email telling them how much space they have and so they can pre-plan what they bring.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent.
I still would hope to speak with Curtis to see if we can get extra tables, because if they want more space and then all of a sudden we're limited to no, then they may not wanna come. And I certainly don't wanna, put that out there. I would rather make space.
Yeah.
So if I can get more tables, that would be great.
That would be
Do
wonderful.
we know how many tables the town has and chairs?
I have no idea, but I'm sure that we can tap into some other places to
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah.
I think also we have one more meeting
Yeah, we
scheduled
do
for
next
this
week,
too,
so-
and we should
we
have.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we
Oh,
should have a better idea maybe of exactly how many tables we'll need and stuff.
Okay.
We just don't want them jockeying and fighting over
No,
space.
no, no.
No.
So-
I don't know if they still have them, but the library used to have
Okay.
a lot, well, they used to have a lot of
Okay.
tables.
Oh.
They may be annoying,
Yeah,
and I'll check on to make sure fire signed off on the permit.
okay, thank you.
I may do that this afternoon.
So, best case scenario, if we had 15 tables for you, that'd be swell? Okay. Plus the 2 that we need for registration,
Right.
okay.
Now,
And-
I know we had spoken and approved that the nonprofits would, up to 2 people, not
Mhm.
all of them are gonna have
Yep.
2 people,
Yep.
would have a lunch or,
Right.
okay. I just
Yep.
wanted to make
Do we
sure.
want 2 chairs to go with each table or
Yeah,
3,
just
or
in
3
case,
chairs?
just in case, I would rather have 2, up to 2 is all I said, up to 2
2 chairs,
volunteers per organization, and that we would provide 2 chairs and 2 lunch coupons.
Yeah. So let me just go through the run of show, so everybody remembers 11:00, we'll be there to set up, 1:00 registration opens, 2 the nonprofit intros, 3 the drawing, 3:30 we tear down for the concert. Any issues with that? All good?
Will we have any town staff to help us, take that down, and I'm sure we'll have they're gonna have some sort of, travel trailer to put all the tables?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, we'll have to ask Curtis about how we get the tables and things. So we'll talk to Curtis about town
Yeah.
supplies.
And ask him how many crew he's gonna have for the day.
Yeah,
Perfect.
okay, I will do that. So, Mr. Samuel, tell us what's going on with the
Okay.
meals, what you got going,
Well, I think we got it.
okay?
So, I approached, but let's do the menu here real quick,
Okay.
and then I'll go through the price and everything.
You guys can
On the
share.
menu, you'll see highlighted in yellow, let's start from the bottom. Shrimp basket, the chicken sandwich, baguette, the cheeseburger, and the salad. However, I am going to ask her today if we can switch the Snug House salad to the one above it.
Okay.
Because if there's any vegetarians, plus I've had this salad, it's awesome. The pear and blue cheese, so any
So-
vegetarians or people that wanna eat light,
So
it's a real good choice. So it'll be that top salad, cheeseburger, chicken baguette, or shrimp basket. And I originally asked for, the price includes everything, the meal, a soft drink, the tax, and a 30% tip, which is what they require for these type of events. I originally requested that it be $20. They came back with pretty much the full retail price of $28. We discussed it, and pending the approval of everybody today, we've got it to an even $25, which means to fulfill our $2,000 commitment, we'll provide 80 meals.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna go less than that,
No, I don't think so.
even on a cloudy day.
Mhm.
So I am gonna meet with her afterwards to firm all this up. I have talked it over with Curtis. He hasn't met with her yet, but I'm going to get everything we discussed today in an email, get it to Curtis. I'll bring it to the meeting so there's no confusion. There were a couple things that I wanted to bring up and get suggestions from everyone.
Could I ask you a quick question? So, you know, our event is basically from 1 to 3:30, but those of us who are working the event would not be able to eat during that time.
Oh my
So
gosh.
is there an extension of sort of the time
You
period?
read my
Oh,
mind.
okay. That's what I'm here for.
That was that, and I thought of that and thought that, so what I'm gonna ask her today is, I know the tiki is available from 1 to 3:30.
Right.
And it might not be available after that. I'm gonna ask her that there's gonna be 2 different certificates, the one for the free meals that we're paying
Okay.
for $25, and we're also gonna hand it to the public, the same thing, they can get that same special for $25.
Okay, okay.
And that will count towards our commitment.
Okay,
So
but
I'm
how are they
hoping-
gonna know? Is there a different certificate?
Yeah, there's gonna be 2 different, ours will say complimentary to
Okay,
mooring people.
Gotcha, okay.
And it will actually, I'm thinking we could take a piece of paper and do 4 tickets on each one. They'll actually have the menu, say everything that's included, and say that the tip is included. I know some people might want a tip extra,
Sure.
that would be great. So what I thought I would ask for is that the coupons and our complimentary ones be honored until 5 o'clock.
I love it.
And that's before the dinner rush.
Yep.
That gives us time, you know, that we're working, and these people with the booths and everything don't have to say, oh, watch the booth while I go eat. And plus, that tiki area it seats about 50 people. They might have it set up for a few more, but when I was there, it was about 50 people. So if we can turn that over twice, that's probably gonna accommodate everybody. And if it doesn't, they'll be free to eat at the restaurant or in the tiki area until 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
Does that sound like that? Everybody will be able to,
You think that's
Jennifer.
not workable, Jennifer, for your people?
I'm concerned because it ends at 3:30.
Mhm.
Everyone's gotta then break down, they've gotta take all their stuff, they gotta go get their cars, they gotta start loading everything up. That's gonna give them very little time to get a meal if for some reason they wanna wait until afterwards.
So you wanna say 6?
I would
Do you
say
think
6
they would
o'clock
say
is
6?
fair, that way they can go back, park and go out and go eat. I don't,
okay?
How about if we bump the time, earlier starting time for them to be available to eat? Like we did 11 o'clock, instead of going later and closing into their dinner time. I mean, it's just an
Or noon,
opposite thought, yeah.
noon to 5? Because
Yeah,
if
we
they could
start
eat,
setting
they
up
could
at
eat
like
there.
they're
11?
already, if I'm already having them come in at 11:30, then maybe they can set up and then go get their lunch. Are they able to get it to go?
Let me go, I don't know.
Okay.
Let me go and ask her today for our vouchers to be good from noon to 6. I might as well ask her.
Yeah.
And if we have to shorten it on
Yeah.
either one of the ends by an hour, so let me go, sorry, let me make a note here.
Yeah, I think noon to 6 is
Noon to
Yeah, I
6,
think
more
that'd be great.
preferred.
and that
Yes,
way, the people
agreed.
that come for sunset and come for the dinner, because the meals do get more expensive,
Yes.
you know, after 5, I think. That's why I picked 5, but
Oh.
if they'll honor those from noon to 6, you're right, people that come in can grab it. The Tiki Hut, they can eat at the Tiki Hut before people even come and register for the event.
Mhm.
We can do that.
Here's another suggestion. if they can put it into go containers, we can always go, one of us can go around to the table and say, would you like your lunch while you're sitting here? And then we can go and pick it up and bring it to them, that way, I don't know if
They
that's.
can eat at the table.
Yeah.
They can eat at the table, and that alleviates some of the spaces that we kinda wanna, I'd like to keep the Snug Harbor spaces to our cruiser appreciation people. I mean, of course, if the, you know, the nonprofits wanna go sit down and have a meal, that's one thing, but maybe giving them the opportunity to sit and have a nice lunch while they're sitting there is not a bad idea.
We haven't had the opportunity, Curtis and I, actually Curtis, I've been over there, but haven't even had the opportunity to sit down. Chef Rizzo, that's kind of in charge of this, the guy is unbelievable. He's in the kitchen cooking, he's seating people, and he's waiting tables.
Yeah.
And so I emailed him, he was really prompt at getting back, and now I think the point person is Nicole. I haven't met her, but she's the one that's gonna set up all the rest of the details, and I'll make sure that I go over this with Curtis, and everything will be finalized by our meeting next week. You'll know all these details, but that's a good plan, the noon to 6. What else was on my,
Is that,
in there?
one more question, is that tiki area just reserved for the cruiser appreciation?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
perfect. Nice. Very nice
and I
of
think
them.
we can spill over, but I'll ask her about turning over the tables, and I think the servers are pretty polite about that. When you're done, they say, you know, they'll, you know, try to turn over the
Will
tables.
that be on the lunch, on the coupon, that there's a reserved seating for the,
It will say the tiki is reserved from 1 to 3:30 for us.
so I have, and I'm sure Murph would be fine with, allowing us to use it, I have, that the Murph pop-up uses, it's a double-sided, stand, it's an A-frame stand that you can put information on. I don't know
Oh,
if that
that's
would
great.
be helpful to
Yeah.
just kinda put an arrow, I'm, you know, pretty good at writing, and I can, you know, put, you know, happy Cruiser Appreciation Day this way for your, you know, for tiki seating or something like that.
I think that'd be great, and maybe one of us can be there as an ambassador and greet people and help them find seats and that sort of thing.
Great
You know,
idea.
once we figure out who's doing what on site.
And I'm thinking that it'd be great to give somebody a little tiny slip of paper, but I'm thinking if we use a quarter of a piece of paper for both the cruisers certificate, it can
And
have
let's do
all
different
the
colors.
information. They won't have to ask different colors will be good. They won't have to have any questions. The menu will be on there. It'll say what's included with the sides, the drinks, everything included, where to go, what to, you know, to get it, the times from 1 to 3:30, or the time from 1 to
Yeah.
noon to 6 or whatever.
Does
We
Snug
do.
do any of that setup? Do they have like a template that we could use for something like that? Or do we just need to come up with it on our own? I don't think it's a huge deal, but,
I'm thinking that I'm just gonna tell her and she'll tell us what to type in
Okay.
there.
okay.
That might be good information to add to the final email, to all the nonprofits, so they already know what meals are gonna be, you know, offered, and maybe we can even ask them in advance, cause that would help the chef out greatly, if he knows at least the 20 people what they want to eat, you know?
I'm not sure we're gonna be
Okay.
able to do that.
Okay.
However, so here's the other thing is money. I haven't even brought it up yet, but I'm assuming they're gonna want a deposit. So I thought.
We have money in our bankroll already.
Right, so I thought that I would just suggest that we give them $1,000 deposit, and that we make up the difference after the event, and that what they do is that they keep those certificates, and they turn it back into us for cash, and also keep the ones that we gave out just to the general public, so they can count towards our minimum in case we don't get there fast. So
I think
I'm
we'll get there.
thinking if we settle
Okay.
up with them, maybe even the day of the event.
And yeah, I'm not sure we can do that,
I'll
because we're
tell
gonna
them.
need, yeah, I think we'll,
That's a Sunday, so
within a couple days.
within a couple days.
Yeah, I think we,
They know we're good for it,
But-
they know
yeah,
where
they-
to find
yeah,
us.
right.
Right. But I think I'll suggest $1,000 deposit, and that way they know we're gonna show up, they already know we're gonna show up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I would say that we can settle up by the end of that week.
yes,
So are you saying not to put this in my email, the lunches provided?
No, I think you, I think
Yeah.
you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I think he was just
Just
saying.
not-
just
Yeah,
don't
that,
ask
so-
them what
yeah,
they want to
they
order.
Okay, gotcha.
Just don't
And,
take
and I would,
a waitress
just, you
order.
can put that in there, and I think that just has everything on there. Did it have the
Does this
sides and
includes
everything on
chicken
there?
too?
Yep, it does, it's got the sides and everything on there.
The house
So-
salad is highlighted with the chicken, is that also gonna be offered, or is it?
No,
I
he's,
thought I would replace that house salad with that one up top.
Yeah, so-
Because anybody that wants chicken
Oh,
can get the
right, right,
sandwich.
right. Okay, gotcha.
And I know that's a lot of stuff if we put on the coupon, but we can just put these items and then just do real small print. And that way, no one has to ask us, well, what does it come with? And we'll have to figure out a way to do
well,
that.
here's what I suggest, is on the coupon, we just list the
Yes.
main items.
Right.
But we have one of these, and you can laminate it, and we
Yes.
can
We'll
have it at
laminate
the
it.
table.
We'll
Yes.
have it, and we'll have it posted
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I'm
posting
posted.
it, especially where we're talking about,
They can walk up and read it.
exactly,
They don't have to keep asking us.
yeah.
Cause I want you to use that laminating machine.
Oh, yeah.
What else for
What else
meals?
for the meals? I think
Okay.
that was pretty much it.
Good job.
Extend the
Yeah,
coupon.
excellent.
I think that was it.
Okay.
Do you wanna get to the next item?
Okay, so just to level set, we have $3,300 in our bank, thanks to several contributors, including Ed and Sam, Beach Talk Radio, and Florida Marine Contracting and Recovery. Curtis doesn't know if any of the other contractors you've talked to will contribute, but I think 3,300 is gonna put us in a pretty good position. You know, if we could have a little bit more, that might be a bit of a cushion. But right now, I'm not tremendously worried about that. Anybody else find that concerning? I mean, if we have 100 meals, that's $2,500.
No, I think that's a
I
good
think
number
we're-
to have.
I think we should get the list from DACWA the day before, a couple days before, of who's registered.
Right?
We'll have it at the welcome table, and when they come up to the table, ask them how many people are with you at that point. And
Yeah.
if you want a coupon for a meal, you need to be there when you register. None of this like one guy saying, well, I have 4 people,
Right.
but they're not here.
Exactly.
Kind of like when you get seated at a restaurant, if they're there. And also, I think we should keep track of the, maybe the people that we give to the pub. No, I guess we don't need to give, we'll just hand those out
Yeah,
to
yeah.
whoever wants those.
Yeah.
But if we keep track of everybody that signed in from DACWA, at least, and make sure they turn in, that the servers keep those coupons, so when they wanna get paid, Snug wants to settle up with us, they turn in the coupons, and we're not just going off of some head count that we
Yeah.
don't know.
So Sam, when do you think, or how do you think, or maybe is it simultaneously when they fill out the voucher for a meal, the donation ticket, when is that gonna be filled out?
That's gonna be, I think when they register, they'll get their drawing ticket. And, we are gonna have to register the general public people to give them a drawing ticket. Just write down their name probably, that we give them a drawing ticket.
Okay, we can do that.
I did have another question. So I heard you say something about the public, and are we gonna we're not giving the public free lunches?
Not a free meal, but they can have the same deal, they just have to pay $25.
Okay, is it gonna be like
A
color
different
coded?
color, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
just so
And it'll
the
say-
restaurants.
Yes.
It'll be the same type of thing, and it'll say your cost today, all included, is $25,
Yeah.
Special,
and from noon to 6.
Okay.
special today.
Yep, special today.
Yeah, but I'm
And
still.
it actually is a little bit of a savings, it's a couple dollars off, so it isn't full retail, so it is a little better deal if they want to order that.
Excellent. I'm sorry, Sam, I didn't get when they're gonna fill out their drawing ticket. So they're gonna come up to get their meal voucher. Is that when they fill out their drawing ticket?
Yes. When everybody's gonna register, we should have, I think Chris said, we'll have 2 different lines, 2 different parts of the table. One will be for Mooringfield patrons. They'll sign in, we'll check them off the DACWA list, give them their free meal certificates, and give them their drawing ticket. And then the public comes up, it'll say register, public register for our free drawing, no purchase necessary, whatever. They'll come up, they'll maybe sign in, we give them a drawing ticket.
And we give them one of the vouchers if they
And the
would like,
vouchers for the
if
meals.
they would like to purchase their meal.
So the drawing ticket, I assume on the back, there'll be a place for name and I guess name.
I mean,
is
it's
on
gonna
the
have a
name.
number on it, so I
Of
mean,
course,
we'll
of
match
course.
numbers, but yeah, if they
Yeah.
wanna write their name on the one
Yeah.
that they give to us,
Oh, I see.
We're gonna
You
use a
don't need-
two-part ticket for
You
that
don't
Yeah.
one.
need, you
Yeah.
don't, you
You
just
don't-
call out the number.
Right.
Excellent, got it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Sam is saying, so that we don't have duplicates, we make
No.
them write their name down, so
Right.
they just get one
Just
ticket.
register, and that way
Yeah.
they won't come
Right,
up and
right.
keep coming up and getting more when
Right.
it gets crowded.
Yeah, I was thinking, they needed to fill out, but yeah, just the numbers
Yeah.
is all you need,
Yeah,
right?
right, two-part ticket, just like a regular drawing.
Mr. Laurie, I just had a flashback of
Oh.
the last Cruiser Appreciation Day, and I remember a huge line because everyone showed up right at once. And I just, my thought is that at first I thought we would set up the tables so they're facing Nervous Nelly, our booth would be facing, so as people are coming in, that could block that little walkway and from people trying to get into Nervous Nelly's entrance. So maybe we do the sign up and the registration sort of where people are lined up, you know.
Maybe
kinda-
we do that closer to the stage.
I thought we should set up
There
on
we
the
go.
stage
That
for the
sets us
registration.
up,
And
you
that
know,
way,
separately and gives us all that middle room to work with.
Yes.
and anybody that enters the park will see on the stage, there'll be a sign, registration, right there, right at the stage.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
News
I
Talk
just-
Radio will announce, come up to the stage to register.
I just remembered that line.
Yeah,
So, Sam, I hate to break down the details.
No,
but-
break the details, this is it.
So it'll be able, if I come up, obviously I can make a donation to get a ticket, but I can make as much of a donation as I choose to get as many tickets as I choose, is that correct?
no.
Everything's free
Yeah.
because we're not gambling, because
So
we're not allowed
you
to
can
gamble.
have one ticket, but if you would like to make a donation for this event or future events, you can make a donation.
That part I understand, but how is that gonna be handled? How is that purchase gonna be handled?
The purchase, which
I don't mean
purchase?
purchase, that's
The
the wrong word.
donation?
The donation's
I
gonna be
think
handled.
we were saying that we would just have some sort of a fishbowl and just say, you know, donate to support Cruisers Appreciation or future
Okay,
events.
so you got a
And
place.
then, yeah,
where
so I
money-
mean, it's just, they're not conjoined at all, we don't wanna
Okay.
give any sort
If
of,
somebody would say, hey, I have a $50 bill, but I would like to donate $20, how's that handled?
Are we gonna take cash?
We'll take
yeah,
50.
I think we have to take cash,
That you
because
have to
there's
take
nothing
cash.
else that we
Right,
can.
nobody's gonna bring their
Yeah,
checkbook,
right.
nobody even has a checkbook.
Well, they can bring their checkbook, they just put it in.
Yeah, right,
But what I'm more
No, but the
concerned
cash
with
is
is, and I've seen this before, here's a $50 bill, I'd like to donate $20. How is that handled?
I just
That's
don't,
how I reach in my pocket and I take out the 2 20s and a 10 and I make them change.
I just
So you're
don't
gonna
think
bring
it's a
a
good
lot of
idea
money?
for the town, we are a government entity that we deal with any cash whatsoever, I mean,
I don't know how we not deal with cash for
well,
this.
it's okay with Nancy. I
Oh,
mean,
it
she,
is? for
yeah.
us to exchange money?
not to exchange money, I think we just have to say you put it in and we're not going to do any
Yeah,
exchanges.
yeah, yeah.
So if there is money in there and you would like to
Oh,
do an
sure.
exchange, we could do that, but I don't think we should take anything out of our pockets and do
Yeah.
any of
That-
that
that's
sort
what
of
I'm
manipulation.
concerned
Well, they can go
I
to
would
Snug and
say,
get
yeah.
change. They can go, there's 4
Okay,
restaurants.
so we
I would say
say, we don't have
exact,
change.
exact change only.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that just,
Yeah,
that's a detail I hate to work
Yeah.
out a day of.
yeah. Sometimes these things come up and you just figure them out.
Good.
But by the time we get a couple people to donate, we will have change
Yeah.
in the bucket.
Yep.
Okay.
One question, Madam Chair, about that, and I may have missed this, but is there a separate account for this event only? So, for instance, we have a surplus this year, will that go into next year's
I don't know.
event, or how is it gonna be handled?
Yeah, I'll have to ask Curtis about that. I know he's working with Sherry in finance. She's the person
Okay.
who's holding the money for us now. Whether it can go into actually the next budget year, I don't know.
I do
I'm-
know,
Okay,
if I may, just
Yes,
because
sure.
I've dealt with this for years with the
Sure.
MRF, is that donations and things like that, it just rolls right
Into
over,
the-
it's not part of the town, budget, so
For
it
the
just-
same event, though?
Correct, it
Yeah.
just anything plus that we have, just gets rolled over into the next year, or the next year, or the next
Sure.
year, I've had, yeah,
Perfect, thank you.
yep.
The account is the committee or what?
Right, it would be under, so fine, like Sherry, Russ would put it under, MRF, not
say-
MRF, but,
no,
Anchorage
no, you
committee.
can't have our money.
I won't take your money. Anchorage committee, budget,
Okay.
yeah, but that money never goes away.
But it specifically goes to next year's Cruisers Appreciation, whatever we
Well,
might call this next year.
whatever we decide that money goes to.
Yeah, or
Okay.
another event if we have something at the end of the year or whatever.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Communication. Go
Can we
ahead,
just
Gary.
add one person? If Beach Talk Radio brings Maria, do you wanna add her to the free meal list?
You mean Marie?
Marie,
Okay.
is that,
Yeah.
yeah. Because if she ends up running around doing everything, and if she happens to be there and stay for the rest of the day,
Yeah.
you can add her in.
And what I plan to do, I think you've all seen sort of the guest list, we've talked about that. I will create an invitation, send it from my email, and I'll ask people to RSVP, so that will give us a little bit of an idea of who's really gonna show up and how many people. Some people may come as singles, some people may come as the +1, but I wanna have a good list. You know, I'll keep the, hey, people RSVP'd, and then people didn't RSVP, they may show up, we don't
I
know.
do know, just from my correspondence with all the organizations, that it's 2 people per organization.
Okay, that's, well,
so.
that's fine.
I mean,
No,
unless
that's fine
someone
for the
falls off or
organization.
is sick or something like that, you know.
But we were talking about our committee
Yes.
and council members, they may or may not bring a guest. I
Right.
just wanna get kind of a head count.
Is the town council invited?
Yep,
Okay.
we've got our committee, town council, the nonprofit booth volunteers, town staff, the, main town staff, Curtis and his crew, Andy, Frankie, Chad, Nicole, Patty, chamber, 2 people from the chamber, and then.
Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
They should
Oh,
be
they're
on my
already,
list.
they're already covered? Okay.
Yeah, they're already.
Okay. All right, and then, BTR.
Are they on my list? The list that you have?
The chamber, yeah,
Okay.
yep, they are,
Okay.
right under Curl.
Okay.
I even alphabetized them.
Even though soft drinks are included, I was planning on donating some water,
Okay.
but I don't have a big enough, I've got like a regular cooler.
I do,
so-
Sam. I've got that
You
big.
got that big one?
That big, yeah,
Maybe we'll
well,
bring
I
that.
hope I have it.
So I'm gonna try to
If
get,
If you don't, I have a huge igloo cooler.
Okay.
It's
Maybe,
a fishing.
maybe we could both bring it, and then,
Put one on either side so people can grab water.
Sure.
right by the registration, and so I was thinking I would get 200 bottles of water. Is that gonna work out?
That'd be great.
Okay. If we run out, that's fine, but at least we can keep some people hydrated at the beginning.
I do have one more concern, and many of them had asked whether or not they could bring tents, and I said no, because it's just not enough room. Do you think the shade sails are gonna be sufficient up for shade?
They move as the day goes, so if you're in the sun, you won't be long. If you're in the shade, you're gonna get, they kinda move as the day goes
No, I
goes
thought
along.
about that afterwards.
it's
But
not
there
that
will
long
be
of an
shade at the
event.
tiki.
It's not that long, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking,
Yeah.
it's not that long, but, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
there'll be shade at the tiki.
I currently know what it's like to be in the sun too much.
Yeah, me too, me too.
It shows.
As long as they have room behind the table to store stuff. For example, if a organization is selling T-shirts, normally as you would know, normally with a tent, they would have a place to display them. In this case, I guess they can just lay them out on the table as much as it would allocate. But if someone wants to purchase the T-shirt, they need some place to store stock. So we
it'd be
need
under the
positions,
table.
we need positions for them to be able to store stock.
I usually, they store them underneath tables, every
Sure.
event,
Yeah.
I think.
To a
In
degree,
their
but,
tubs, yeah.
okay, gotcha.
But, again, because we'll have a couple of registration tables, if we could store
Oh.
extra stock underneath our table up front, if
If
we
they
need
trust
to.
us.
We will need a tote to store all of our gifts and stuff
Yes, true.
that's been,
Yeah,
in a safe place under our table.
got it.
Okay. Communication, I'm gonna talk about that briefly, and I wanna express something that Ted expressed to me, and if I get it wrong, please jump in, but, he just wants to keep the spirit of the initial Cruisers Appreciation Day the way it has been historically, and so I will kind of reframe some of the communication to make sure that we're really talking boaters first, and that this event is because of the boaters. We want to make sure they're recognized and celebrated. They come here because we have a great amenity, and this is an opportunity for the public to experience the boaters and to celebrate the boaters, to meet them, to participate in this event. But it exists because we do have these wonderful cruisers coming and sharing our island with us.
Thanks.
Is that the spirit of it?
Yes, and I had another thought after your
Okay.
excellent presentation. Is there any chance of introducing the boaters to the crowd.
Oh, I love that.
And where
Yes,
you
I think
from?
we should.
And what's your boat?
Absolutely.
Great idea.
So, once we have that, list, and we know who is checked in, maybe we can do that before we do the nonprofit. So
Yes.
sometime around like 1:45 or something. Perfect idea, love it.
Curtis isn't here, but I think he told me that he does, on the DACWA registration, he does have an email for everybody, so I wondered if we need to send out an invitation to everybody that's registered like the week before or a few days
Yep.
before, saying they're invited, and that way we don't have to rely on them. They'll still be able to see it at the dinghy dock, but that way everyone will get a personal invitation to their DACWA email, inviting them, telling them it's a free meal, that will guarantee they show up.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I had that on my list, so I don't know what the right timing is, because we probably will get some people who just come in at the last minute and haven't necessarily pre-registered, but,
So
Or-
maybe after our next meeting, where Curtis will be here,
Yeah.
and he can let us know what a good
Great.
time to send that out.
Yeah.
But a week ahead of time would be good, and we can add on whoever registers after that.
yeah. Yes, Miss Jen?
Yes, also, I was, to, his, idea of having them come up, the Mooringfield residents, having them come up, maybe we can find out who has been there the longest, who has been participating, and a little bit of background or stories about them.
That would be Dave Richardson. He was the very first person on the mooring, and he's still there.
Really? I would love to hear
Yeah,
that story
no, I
and
think that's
what,
a terrific idea,
Yeah.
thank you, Ted.
yes.
And that may be something that can be prompted by Ed.
Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep,
How long you've been here, but he's very good at that, of course.
yep, I think that's great. Okay, so general promotion, I will reframe some of the talking points, and then we'll make sure we work with Nicole to get something out soon so that the public knows what's going on. I wanted to wait a little bit longer until we had our nonprofits firmed up, and we're gonna talk about drawing prizes next, because I think that's important to promote as well. Thank all those sponsors who are contributing, and then we'll talk about supplies, and then I think we're good, but, so drawing prizes so far, we have the items from Folk. I know that Curtis was picking up a pair of Key West Express tickets today.
Excellent.
What else do we know from the last time that we talked? And I have not reached out yet, and I will to the people I was supposed to reach out to. Ron, you were gonna take the Islander and the Fire District, but they're already having, I mean, would they have some other things to give away, you think, besides what they're doing at their,
I'd have to ask.
okay.
Yeah. But from the Islander, I have $100 gift card.
Oh, great.
Oh, wonderful, super, super duper. Excellent,
Thank you, sir.
that's very good.
Anybody reach out to anybody? Have anything yet?
Are we,
Her business cards.
are we going for,
So I can tell.
individual things or money? Oh, I didn't know the money thing.
Yeah, I think either a gift card, a gift certificate of some sort, or actual swag
Okay.
is great, either of those things. And, you know, because there probably will be some people with kids there, if any of the items are child-friendly, I think some
Right.
of your folks' stuff
Oh,
is
absolutely.
probably.
Yeah,
So,
Um,
and we can say either or both,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be one or the other.
right.
so here's what I've been doing. I've been taking Chris's letter and stapling my business card on it, and here's what I've got so far. Do you want me to go ahead and do mine?
Yes, please.
I should be picking these all up today. I went on Tuesday and talked to everybody. And these are pretty much confirmed, I just need to pick them up. From Matanzas, Penny at the office, she's gonna get us a one-night stay at the hotel,
Oh,
which is awesome, because some people don't have air conditioning. That was like the biggest giveaway, for the last several years, especially for people that didn't have air conditioning. From Matanzas Restaurant, I asked them for a $50 certificate to the restaurant. I'm sure I'll be getting that or pretty close. Wahoo Willie's, I asked for the same, and at the same time, I'm asking them if they want to kick in some swag, a hat, t-shirt or something, or koozie on top of that. So I've got Matanzas Inn for the night stay, restaurant for the meal, Wahoo Willie's, and SOBs. I purposely did not approach Nervous Nellies yet because I wanted to make sure that a meals, but now that we're all set with the meals there, would anyone else like to take Nervous Nellies, or do you want me to just take it since it's on that block? I can take it. I'll do that today when I do everybody else.
Okay, so you've got the one night stay confirmed, you've
Mhm.
got the restaurant gift certificate confirmed, $50 from,
I don't have them in hand, but I'm
Okay.
going to collect them today, and as soon as I get them, I'll either get them to you, Chris, or I'll give them to,
yeah,
Curtis.
yeah, tell Curtis and he can tell me, and then I can add them to the,
I wanna actually give them to you
Yes,
so you can,
yes,
so you can have-
absolutely.
yeah. And,
and SOB, you think they'll come through with a $50?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
But, Sam, if you can
Yes.
get some swag, things like,
yeah, to add on a
T-shirt
t-shirt
or
Yeah.
Koozie or
how,
something,
yeah.
when we make up the gift basket, having that volume.
No, it's gonna go, all these items will go with the restaurant certificate. It will be a restaurant certificate and a hat, restaurant certificate
Okay.
and a shirt. It will all be a one-shot thing, and that way,
yeah.
Not everything's going in one basket, but it's all
So
individual.
then I'm confused. So we're
No,
gonna
I
do,
think he's saying that
basket.
it's a Wahoo
So we're gonna-
Willie's, this plus
so we're gonna do
this.
a multiple drawing.
right, we're gonna do a drawing, so Beach Talk Radio will do the drawing.
Right.
And they'll say, well, we have from SOBs a $50 certificate and a hat. And
will
he'll
that be
draw a
one?
number.
That would be
Okay,
one thing,
gotcha,
yep,
gotcha,
yep,
that would be
gotcha.
one
yep,
thing.
we're not, it's not the grand prize drawing on the
Okay.
Price is Right where you win everything in
Yeah,
the
my
showdown showcase,
misunderstanding.
yeah.
So there's no need for a,
But the Key West
then we have to
Express is
load
gonna
it.
be a grand, and this night at Matanzas, that's
Yeah.
another good
wonderful,
one.
wonderful.
Yes, Miss Jen.
I've got a suggestion. I don't know if it's possible. It might have to go through our town manager, but what about a month stay in the mooring field?
Well, a month may be too much, but
Oh.
a portion,
A week stay
Yeah,
in the
a week.
A
Lakeville?
week stay.
or
I can
10
ask
days.
I don't
Chris?
know how it's charged, so I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
it's a month.
I think we should get a recommendation from
It's,
Curtis
that's,
Yep.
on what
that's
the
gonna
stay
be an
should
issue with,
Okay.
with the Aqua thing and
Is
everything.
it?
Okay, okay.
It
Okay.
might be.
Okay,
Just
Yeah, I
write it
just
down.
think we need
Good
to run
idea.
it through
Yeah.
Curtis, excellent idea, but I think we need to run it through Curtis and
Yep.
see, cause he had talked about the last time, we're sitting at about 75%. So we certainly should have, the facilities to, make that happen.
right, and especially now as we're going into a lesser season.
Yeah, excellent, yeah.
Would it
But-
be okay or appropriate for me to ask the nonprofits and organizations that are attending for something?
I think that'd be fabulous.
Because I know Captains of Clean Water, they're bringing their hats and some other things, and so I'm sure they would be happy to, donate something for the drawing.
I think that'd be swell.
Okay.
That's excellent, I was under the impression we were gonna do a big basket.
Oh, yeah, no.
But this would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, and I think this gives a lot of people the opportunity to win something.
Oh,
and feel
absolutely.
more
No,
part
I
of it,
agree
and hopefully a
totally.
lot of the
Yeah.
people who win are the voters.
And it also gives the
Well, and
opportunity.
maybe we keep, maybe that we have different colored tickets, and maybe their tickets are a different color, and we know that, okay, alright.
And it also gives us opportunity to advertise the people that are giving this.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
When you,
excellent, yeah.
when you give, rather than a big basket.
How many, how long are we giving the drawing for them to call people up? Like
The
one-
drawing is between 3 and 3:30.
that's only a half an hour, so
Yeah.
that's,
So we gotta
it takes time, yeah.
Yeah,
To
so I
call
mean, if
people
we
up,
have
get
like,
people
It
up,
goes
just-
fast.
yeah, if we have like 20 prizes or some, I mean, how many did you have before, Sam and Ted?
Like 20 or 20, we had a lot.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah,
a
a lot
lot.
more
I
than
mean,
that,
all the
yeah.
marinas. So
Okay.
are you gonna sign some more
Yes, I
people
was
to go
gonna
out
go
and get,
through,
like,
yeah.
okay, good.
So, I'm gonna take the Whale, Sandy Bottoms, Margaritaville, and Junkanoo, and I'm assuming that I can get, some swag and maybe a gift, a meal certificate from them. The other things that we had on our list were some of the cruises, like island tours, sunset cruises, Pancake House, island carts. I can ask island carts.
How about the day passes for Margaritaville, Diamond Head, and Pink Shell?
Okay, I will take those three.
Do you have that contact info?
I'm sure I do.
From, if you don't, I have it
Do
from,
we qualify for the drawing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we do, don't we?
Why not?
We have in the past,
Yeah,
haven't
I
we?
mean,
I can't
no
remember.
purchase necessary.
Yes,
Purchase
but
necessary,
we,
so-
the significant other usually picked it up.
There you go.
Yeah, I forget how.
Okay.
Oh, so as a prize they need to be there to collect the prize?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But if we're successful, we listed almost 30 possibilities. if we're successful and get 20, which would be wonderful, there may be some advantage to combine a few.
Yeah.
So that we don't have what Jen's worried about.
The more
not
winners,
enough
the
time.
better. The more individual winners, the more exciting it is.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's just a matter of, do we pull tickets for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 50 minutes?
It doesn't take that long. As soon
Yeah.
as they pull a ticket out, he'll announce it, the person will scream, they run up, they grab their prize, next ticket.
Yeah.
But aren't you gonna
Yeah.
take time to explain what the prize is?
Yes, but that's just a few minutes. They'll say, well, SOB is right down the street, and they're very voter
Wow.
friendly,
Yeah.
and they have a happy hour.
I think we
and just
create a
like-
little blurb
Yeah.
to be read
Sure.
for each prize.
Sam, I yield to your experience. You know how this
It goes pretty quick,
Okay.
yeah. Does
And if
anyone
somebody's
have,
not there, then we just
does
move on to
anyone
the
have
next number.
Yucatan and Lighthouse? Those are the same owners. So, anybody want to
Anybody?
take that?
Yucatan Lighthouse?
Oh, are you asking for people to go and
Yes.
see?
Yeah, see what we could get from them.
Chris, you were signed up for the Lighthouse previously.
No, I didn't take Lighthouse. I've got,
Isn't Yucatan, is Yucatan still owned by the lighthouse?
It's
Or-
same people.
It's the same people, so
Yeah,
it's just the
Culvers.
wrong person.
I can reach out to them.
Okay, good. And I got Nervous Nellies.
We have Doc Ford's and Dixie Fish House. Anybody wanna take those two?
Doc Ford's and Dixie Fish House.
Anyone?
I'll take it if nobody else wants to.
I think you've got them, John.
I'm in communication with Mary Torgerson, so I can ask her for the, I don't know if she's got, authority to give out Margaritaville passes.
I think she
or not.
does.
Yeah, You wanna talk to Mary and
Yeah.
I'll take Margaritaville off my list?
Okay, so you want me to do Margaritaville?
Yeah, that's fine.
And you can feel free to, they've been very generous with everything, but you can ask them for a day pass for the pool, which actually doesn't really cost them out of pocket. I guess that would be a day pass to the pool for two, and also maybe a gift certificate to one of the restaurants.
For two and gift certificate. And then what about Women's Club, like the passport, would that be a good
Oh,
one?
yeah, I think that'd be
Yeah, I
great.
think that'd be excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, give away passports, that'd be swell.
Does somebody have that? Because I can certainly ask for that.
Well,
Well, I'm in communication with Mary, so
Yeah.
for the cruiser appreciation, so I'll just ask her all in
It's the
one.
same one, sure.
Yeah.
so whatever you got, Mary.
Yeah.
And I think they had some leftover, those beach towels and some other things, some things from last year.
They have the beach towel stuff?
I think so, cause they were selling them online on their site.
Okay. Ooh, that would be a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna add Annette's Book Nook, cause I'm gonna be at Santini tomorrow, and I'll take that ice cream place. What's the name of the new ice cream place?
I don't know, but while you're there, go see Anita at Local Motion. She has, I don't know what it's
Islander,
called.
no, he
Oh,
already gave
you
us
already got that?
Yeah, he already got that.
Oh, good, because she's been really good in the
Yeah.
past.
So,
She's, yeah. Oh, right.
okay,
In the past, we've done marinas, but, I mean, it's a little different this year.
yeah,
We've done, we had them give us an $8,000 engine. It was crazy. And, but I don't know if maybe the ones that give fuel, we could ask for fuel or a gift certificate to the ship store.
yeah, so that would be what, Moss and?
That would be, I got it here, Moss, Salty Sam's, and Snook Bite.
I'll take Snook Bite.
You'll take Snook Bite, Ted? Okay.
You sure you can make it all the way there, Ted?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a problem for you. Do you wanna do Moss and Salty Sam's? Do you think you can, or no? I know nothing
No,
about
I
those.
can't. I kinda got a full plate this
Okay.
week. So I wanna make sure I button up all mine, but those are the only two things. And I thought either a $50 or a certificate for the ship store or maybe even for fuel.
Yeah.
But fuel might, you know what, I think a certificate to the ship store would include fuel, so just some
Yeah.
certificate to ship store.
So you've got Snook Bite?
Yeah, I have some ideas, and we'll
Okay.
see what they'll do.
Okay,
I can do the Allen Pancake House.
okay,
I can do the Lighthouse and Yucatan.
okay, then I'll take that off mine, thank you.
So Moss and Salty Sam's, does anybody wanna take those?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't really,
Well, as of yesterday, maybe Moss will give somebody a free condo.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, that's not gonna happen. But they do have the ship store going and fuel.
All right, well, I will try to do them, but I'll do the
Okay.
other ones on my list. So I think we're pretty good. So Jen is gonna do Margaritaville, Ron, you're gonna take Lighthouse and Yucatan, John, you've got Dock Ford's Dixie Fish and Island Pancake.
Yep.
I've got Whale, Sandy Bottoms, Pink Shell, Diamond Head, Junkanoo, Island Cards, Annette's Book Nook, and Ice Cream Shop. And Ted's got Snook Night.
Yeah, I could go through Matanzas, down where Fishtail is.
Okay.
and a couple of people I know well, so if they haven't mentioned there, may I, contact them?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
I did contact Publix. In the past, it was really easy. I just walked in, knew the manager, and, however, they sent me this little yellow thing, even though we're in there every day
Yeah.
and everybody is. They're really catering to registered nonprofits. You have
Sure.
to go online and register with everything, so I think we're gonna pass on that
All
for
right.
this year.
That's fine. All right, so let's see what we can gather, and we'll talk about that next week. As always, I'll send out a recap of all of this and the assignments. Wanna just revisit supplies really quickly?
Before we
Yeah.
get there,
Sure.
Chris, Adam,
Yes,
um,
whatever.
so there were some things listed the last time, such as Tina's Bar, Parrot Key, the ferry's taken care of. Are we still gonna try to approach them, or are we going to just leave them go for right now?
I don't know if it is. Why don't we see how we do,
Okay,
and then we can.
talk about next week?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Who said, so, John, you said you were doing Dock Ford's and Dixie Fish House, I mean, Parrot Key's right over there. Well, in the same general vicinity, but
Okay, I'll talk to them.
do you wanna do that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Were we gonna try to get Nicole's to see what she was doing for, that was her, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll talk to her later,
Okay.
that's fine, yeah.
And you were gonna give us, some verbiage before we approach them?
I think we had that letter that we talked about last time, and
Right, I just didn't
think I
know if
wanna,
it finalized.
I think
thought
I
they were-
want to tweak that a little bit,
Right,
just based on Ted's
Right.
comment, so I will do
Right.
that,
yeah, the sooner I have that, the
yeah.
better I can
Okay.
approach these, and I'd rather approach them sooner than later.
Yep.
Should I also send that letter to the nonprofits?
I mean, I think you've had such conversations probably with them
Yeah.
perfectly. I
I'll
think
make it a
maybe
little
that can
more
be
personal.
yeah, I think
okay.
that can be a
Yeah.
follow-up, maybe
Yeah,
just
yeah.
FYI.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
I have to say Curtis is doing a great job of like keeping all this organized.
yes, he's doing a great job. All right, I'm gonna go back through the supplies, tables and chairs, we've got Curtis, duct tape, I know our duct tape guy, John has duct tape and zip ties. Curtis was gonna check on the drawing tickets, we haven't done that yet. Meal ticket, we will have to create. Somebody told me they found some really big receptacles, I think that was you, John, for the drawing, but they're
Oh,
not
yes,
what we
but they're,
want, so we need,
they're way too big.
okay,
So let me, try to revisit that.
okay.
How many, can we define how many we need?
We just need one for drawing and we need one for donations,
Okay,
and if they're clear,
Yeah.
plastic,
I just wanna say that.
do you have something?
I do actually, from Walmart, I bought, I purchased those little cheese balls and it's huge.
Yes,
You know
exactly.
what I'm
The
talking
cheese
about?
ball containers are
That's what we used to
absolutely
use.
perfect.
That's what we
Yeah.
used.
Oh,
And
I've got
what I
it.
did was,
Awesome.
with the white lid on top, what I did is I cut a hole in the lid,
Yeah.
and that way you
Uh-huh.
put them in, you shake them all up, nobody can take them out, and then
Right.
when you get ready to reach in,
Yeah.
Take the
So
top
Do you wanna donate
I've
2
got
cheese
2
ball
of them.
containers? Thank
Got
you.
2 cheese ball containers.
Excellent.
perfect.
Yeah, I just wanna say, the Women's Club was wonderful and said, here, you can use them. So, they were very supportive, but I will get those back.
Okay. So I think next time we really need to talk about signage. And, you know, Jen, if you wanna come to us with a little, maybe a visual of the layout where you think some of the tables will go and how you envision the walking path, I mean, it can just be very, very blocky.
Yeah, I'm not a great, you
Okay.
know, I think I submitted a site plan for Bayside Park and I was just like, sorry, this is the best I can do. But I will do that.
So when we do the signs, for the I'm gonna laminate whatever you need laminated, but when we do registration, if we go instead of, portrait, if we go landscape, we can do registration, mooring field people, registration, general public. And if you just do it, landscape on your
Yeah.
computer with big bold letters, everybody will be able to read it.
Yep. So are you going to take a stab at creating a
A
meal
menu?
ticket?
Yes.
And then the menu too, so the menu that we can have laminated and show, and then.
For the public and the private, and then we
Right.
can do it on different colored, it's gonna be very similar.
Yes, the meal ticket, but I think, yeah, the
It'll have the
color
menu,
standing out
and
and
it'll
one
say
with a big
mooring,
like
patron.
complimentary.
Right.
And then the other one,
$25.
$25.
All included.
And the
Yeah.
site plan for the tables, I don't have to put which
No,
organizations.
no, no, just
Okay.
kind of how you're
Cause
gonna.
I think first come, first served,
Yeah.
just so we're not, you know, if someone doesn't show up, we have an empty table or something.
Jen, if you want, if you send me that information hand draw, I can make a layout.
Okay,
You know, I can, just give me a day or two,
Okay.
but I can make it look like
A schematic.
Okay.
a schematic.
Perfect.
That's the right word. I can make a schematic for you.
Limit the stage to Beach Talk Radio and our
registration,
registrations.
okay.
I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
The first come, first serve kinda, I don't understand. Is it a specific block and somebody doesn't come and spread out all over the table?
Yeah, so what I was thinking, I've got a laminator too, and at the grand opening of the library, they, for all the tables, they actually had signs, that, were attached to each table. And I thought about doing that, but then I thought, well, what if somebody, like in the back room, some of the organizations didn't show up, so you had
Yeah.
somebody way off in the corner and nobody else around. So I'd like to make it so as soon as, an organization comes and has their stuff, I'll just put them systematically at each table, you know, corresponding.
My point is, if a table will have two organizations, there's some understanding.
I'll be there to help them with
Uh,
that.
Yeah, in the past, there've been problems, you know, the one comes in and takes it all
Yeah.
over, and
Yeah.
I just say it needs to be said there's half a table.
Okay.
If that's what it is
Right.
Okay, will do.
is that, I don't know how
Yeah.
you're dividing them
I
up.
think what I thought you were talking about is, as people are coming in to set up, I would just, you know, place them right next to each other unless they need a bigger spot. If they can fit in two, you know, on one table, two organizations at one table, then I'll have those already ready for them, so.
And you'll have figured it out by your conversations with them,
Yes.
knowing
Yeah.
how much space they need, so.
Plus, if we do put together a schematic, it's something you could email previously so people know
Yeah,
where you put them,
yeah.
if you choose.
I just gotta figure out, you know, the timing of it. Cause if I ask an organization to please be there by 11:15 and another one by 11:20, but they, you know.
Yeah,
And again, you know.
we'll be there to help.
Yeah, and we could put on the schematic,
Yeah,
load time,
yeah,
in time,
yeah,
if you choose.
yeah,
So I just telling you, I can make that happen very
Okay.
easy for you
Okay.
if you got the info.
okay, yeah,
On the schematic, maybe you can have the table, you know, each unit is a half a table, and then you can give more than one unit to people you want to,
yeah.
but not having a defined space can be a problem.
Yeah, I think I got it. I'll make it work.
All right, so we've got our drawing prize assignments, we've got supply assignments, we'll talk about signage and, nail that down next time. I will do a recap of all of this stuff. What outstanding things do we need to talk about? Anything you can think
Well, I
of?
was just thinking about supplies, that we talked about cooler.
Okay,
But I have
coolers,
like a two-wheel cart I could bring that might
Okay.
be helpful to help, people when they're setting up and breaking down, just to have an extra
Oh,
one
a
there.
dolly,
Yeah, and, I mean, I'm sure Curtis will have a town truck, but I can bring my truck to help haul tables, chairs, whatever
No,
else.
actually, I think the town has, a big cooler.
Okay. Yeah, I think they
The
do too.
more the
Prob-
merrier.
Probably some that were over in
No,
Bay.
I think I just saw it
Okay.
recently back here.
Okay,
So what I would maybe suggest is that we keep a dozen or a dozen and a half waters aside for emergency applications.
oh, sure,
If someone comes up and we see that they're dehydrated and heat stroke or heat,
Sure.
you know, here, but, so we don't run
We'll
out
have
of
plenty.
them. Yeah.
We'll have plenty.
and the fire department will be on
I
hand
was just gonna
for
say.
any,
Yeah.
you know, just such an emergency.
That's excellent.
And then ice for that, those coolers, I mean, we can just get
We'll get it on our way.
Wahoo or whatever. I'm sure.
Actually, we can get that, I think, from Stubbs, so I need to ask her about that
Okay,
for, when
But
Snu-
anything else that you can think that I could bring to help, I mean, I'd be more than happy to help with the setup and take down and whatever during the event, and it's just my schedule up until that is really ugly.
Okay.
That Friday open, but,
okay.
I've had a wife take that day, so.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, we'll talk about, day of next week, and we still have another week before that, so if we need to schedule another planning meeting for the week right before the event, we can sure do that. Okay, I don't know that everybody's had a chance who was here last time to look over the minutes, Ed, you were in and out on your boat as your dinghy hit your boat. Did you take a look at it? No, you weren't here last time, so
If it was sent out, I've read it,
I don't think it got sent out, at
Oh.
least I didn't see it.
then I didn't,
But-
and I haven't seen it.
I've read it, I have no problem with it.
Any issues?
Just read it.
All right,
I read
you
most of it.
skim it there. Ron, you all good with everything?
Yeah, fire has signed off on the permit.
Oh,
So
super.
it's here, so.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome.
Thank you. Okay, so do I have a motion to
What is
accept?
this minutes of?
It was from our planning meeting last week.
Okay, I'm sure there's nothing in there that,
I mean, I'm happy to have you read it. I mean, Jennifer, you
I
weren't
wasn't
here,
here.
so.
okay,
All right, do I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, Ron and Ed,
But these
and,
are just organizational meetings, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
they
mean, it's
are.
not, we're not to the same,
no, level of,
yeah.
no. Okay, all in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right, if there is not.
One more, I'm
okay.
sorry, one more quick question, the cheese ball containers, do you want me to put anything on there, like a laminated, just a description, or?
It'd be great if you could have one for, you know, donations, event
Donations.
donations, and the other one would be drawing
Drawing.
tickets, yeah, that'd be swell.
I just wanted to, one more comment from, I'm sure Ted will agree with me. The biggest improvement is not having to sell these raffle tickets. It really was very difficult, and it took all of us, and it took all of our time, so this is a big improvement.
Yes. All right, if there is nothing further, I will adjourn the meeting. It is
All right.
2:09. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
thank you.